How does Ibogaine really help to heal and disrupt the symptoms of PTSD? I'm Kat Courtney. I'm one of the co-founders of Bassé Clinic, an Ibogaine clinic in Mexico. And I'm here to share some really good news about what we know about Ibogaine and its effects on long-term and complex PTSD. So we now know so much more about trauma in the last 3 decades especially, and how it impacts the body and the mind. And really, in a simplified way, what happens with trauma is that it's as if the brain hits pause when it goes through something intensely traumatic and does not have the opportunity to finish that process. Let's take the classic analogy of a deer in the wilderness that is being chased by a predator. When that deer gets to safety, that deer is going to go through a whole process of releasing the trauma, typically shaking and convulsing, and it can look actually quite dramatic, but it's incredibly healthy. And maybe, 5 minutes later, the deer is grazing and acting as if nothing happened because the trauma has left its body. We as humans don't typically have that opportunity. When we're in a traumatic situation, we often don't get out of it to the point that we have that opportunity, or even the skills, the tools, the awareness of how important it is. So think of trauma like a loop, a process. There are traumas that you've been through that you probably aren't carrying physically in your bodies, in your body and your mind. So the idea with working with a plant medicine like Ibogaine that really helps to reopen and process those trauma loops is that we finish what was started. And so Ibogaine accesses the neural pathways in our bodies and our nervous systems and helps to find and dislodge and move through those traumas. And another key part of this incredible medicine is that it has some level of dissociative properties. It isn't a class of dissociative medicine, but you feel at least somewhat removed from the identification and the intensity of the medicine or of the experience, so that as you are processing it, it feels like it's being released, not recycled, released. And then you have the benefit of Noribogaine, which is an alkaloid that is literally created by the human body when Ibogaine is metabolized through the liver. And the Noribogaine is like a warm hug for the nervous system, creates this beautiful calming effect. So at the same time, we're often really facing some of these traumas, these deep-seated memories or events. We are working with a medicine that is helping to regulate and calm our systems, and the combination is really magical. I've been working with plant medicines for over 20 years, and I really feel like Ibogaine, there's nothing like it to help the really deep and complicated experience of trauma. So if you resonate with feeling stuck, that there are things in you that haven't been allowed to complete themselves, Ibogaine is just one of the most, probably the most magical and effective portal that exists to help move through that. So please reach out to us. Our contact information is below. You can ask any questions and comments as well. We would love to help you get on the journey of feeling like you are getting free of your trauma and closing these loops. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.